So I'd like to play a little game with you. I'm going to share 3 words. And without using Google, I'd like you to let me know after you've watched this video if you knew what those words mean and how they relate to workplace well-being. So I'll give you 3 clues. Feelings, fork, and feet. Word number 1 that relates to feelings is eudamonia. Word number 2 that relates to fork is Hara hachi. It's more a concept or a phrase rather than a single word. Word number 3 that relates to feet is proprioception. So why don't you press pause, and if you're really honest, write down beneath this video if you know what those words mean and how they could relate to workplace well-being. So did you get that? So if we think of feelings, fork and feet, eudamonia is a sense of flourishing and having an inner sense of contentment and purpose. The word for fork or the phrase hara hachi. I'm not Japanese, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it means to eat until you are 8 out of 10 full. Possibly one of the longevity secrets that we learn from specifically the Okinawans in Japan, where we see a high concentration of centenarians, people reaching 100, but with good health and vitality. Word number 3, you may have known this one, proprioception. So the sense of balance and spatial awareness, specifically relating well to movement and exercise. So how do these words and concepts relate to workplace well-being? In my experience of working with various businesses, I see many businesses that do 1 or 2, but not always something from all 3 of those dimensions. And well-being, we know it's incredibly important. We know that it helps with bottom line because it reduces healthcare costs, reduces absenteeism, reduces presenteeism, can help with burnout, can increase engagement, and for all those reasons, it's no longer a nice to have. But, you know, it's not always easy and there's no one size fits all, that's for sure. But what I generally tell people, and I shared this in a presentation I did this morning, and the feedback I got was, that's simple and easy. And simple and easy is good because it's practical. It means we can take this common knowledge, because this is common sense, but we're not seeing common practice. So if you're doing something within your business as a leader relating to feelings and mental health and well-being, that's great. But don't just do that in isolation. Is there something that you can do that relates to fork? So helping your teams, your organization make better choices around food. What about feet? How can you bring in a sense of not just fitness and exercise, but also encouraging people to be agile, to work in a way that drives their productivity? Stand-up meetings, for instance, creating the right kind of agile workspace that facilitates walking, talking in different places as opposed to just sitting at a desk. So that's how those 3 words link to workplace well-being, in my opinion. I'd love to know if you have any other ideas. And perhaps this is a model that you can take yourself. Because as business leaders, we certainly lead by example and can create powerful influence that way by virtue of the fact that we have influence and impact. So can you bring in a sense of eudaimonia, a sense of perhaps thinking of how you're eating and being more mindful around that and how you move in the day? Because imagine the workplace was a purpose-led, values-driven, happy place where people came and left more joyful. Imagine the workplace was a place where everybody was well-fed in a way that helped them stay energized and maintain peak performance all day and do their best work and reduce their lifestyle risk. Imagine a workplace where there was the sense of balance and dynamism, as well as being able to be anchored and balanced. It's certainly true and can be done. It's not pie in the sky. There are organizations that are getting this right without investing fortunes. And even if you are investing small amounts or a fortune, a lot of the research is showing that in terms of return on investment around well-being programs, if they are done correctly, you can get a return of 3 to 1, sometimes even 9 to 1. So I hope that you have a day full of eudaimonia, that you think about what you put on the end of your fork, and that you manage to move your feet.